Welcome to our tutorials on Excel. This will be the last session, and in this session we are going to learn how to create charts and print worksheets. A chart is a graphical means of representing data in a worksheet. Charts describe the data for the people. That is it. It gives us a visual representation of the statistics or some values that we may have, to give us some sort of a pictorial view of that data. Charts help people to see the clear lines of comparisons and relationships among some given data. Why are you learning charts? Charts serve several purposes in the school and then outside the school. For instance, let's say you may want to check the performance of your students over some period of time. Probably you want to see within a term how the males performed and how the females performed. Probably you may want to check the attendance of students. Okay? You can use charts for these purposes. Probably you may want to conduct some sort of research, and once you gather data, once you've gathered and organized your statistical data from your data sources, you may want to put them in charts so that you can vividly or visually explain what those statistics, those findings that you have attained, what they are all about, so that you can make people understand what you have found as your data. You will not only need this in these purposes, but in your final year you will also be writing a project work. And within your project work, after you've gathered your data, you must organize them properly and present them either using charts or using tables, and then explaining them to the people who will be having access to your findings. We have different types of charts, and some are being looked at as follows. The ones available in Excel are what we are looking at. The first one is the area chart, and this type of chart shows the size of change over time. The next chart type is bar chart, and this type displays comparison between independent data values. The next chart type is the bubble chart type. The bubble chart type is a scattered chart showing relationship between sets of data. The next one, which we frequently use generally in most of the fields, is the column chart. The column chart displays comparison between independent data values. Then we have the column type of chart, and this displays and compares data represented by each column. Then we have the cylinder chart type. This type of chart shows and compares data represented by each cylinder. So here we represent each data in the form of cylinder. The previous represented data in the form of cone. The next type of chart is the donut chart. And this shows the contribution of each part to a whole at their outer edge. The next type of chart is the line chart. The line chart shows a trend over time of a series of data values. Then we have the pie chart. The pie chart shows the relative size of the parts to a whole. The pivot chart displays and compares data represented by each pyramid. Then we have the radar chart, and this illustrates data change relative to a central point. We have the stock chart, and the stock chart displays low, high, open, and close values for a stock. And this one goes for those in the stock exchanges. Then we have the surface chart, and this type of chart depicts relationship among large values of data. The final chart type is the XY or scatter chart, and this shows the relationship between two sets of data points. The types of charts that are generally used in almost all the fields are the column and then the pie chart, and probably the bar as well. But some of the charts that we have looked at are mostly used in specific fields. Okay. Let us look at the features of the chart. The entire area within which a chart and all its elements are found is known as the chart area. So this is the chart area. And then we have the vertical axis title, which is optional. We also have the horizontal axis title. We have the chart title. We have the data series. Then we have the grid lines. And then we have the legend. Let us look at each of these. I have already explained that the chart area is where all the elements of the charts reside. That is, the chart area is the area within which the chart covers in your worksheet. Then we have the plot area. The plot area is the rectangular area bounded by the x-axis on the left and then the y-axis at the bottom. By default, the plot area is gray in color. In simple terms, where you have your data series plotted and mapped, okay, by some sort of measurement, is known as the plot area. Then we have the x-axis. and the x-axis contains the data markets or markets denoting category values. Then we have the y-axis. And the y-axis contains the value of data being plotted. We can also have the y-axis title, which I said is optional. And this identifies the value being plotted on the y-axis. The x-axis title, on the other hand, briefly describes the x-axis categories. Then we have the chart title, and the chart title labels the entire chart. The next feature is the category names. Now this corresponds to worksheet text you use to label data. So whatever we use to label a particular category of data or group of data is what we refer to as category names. The next feature is the data markers, and these are graphic representation of the value of data point in a chart. That is what we use to represent the value on the graph. That is pictorially, that is the data marker. And we say this can be a pie, a slice, a bar, a column, and so on and so forth, as it depends on the graph type. The last feature is the legend, and the legend indicates which data marker represents what series when you chart multiple series. They indicate the color code associated with that name. Let us look at how we insert charts in a worksheet. The steps are given to us as follows. Step 1. Select the cells you want to create the chart for. And this should include the column titles and then the row labels. And these will serve as the source data for the chart. The next step is to click the desired chart command from the chart group after clicking the insert tab. So you click the insert tab and then you click the desired command, chart type command. Then once you click that, a drop down of the available should I say designs of that type of chart that you are choosing will display. Okay, then the final step is for you to choose the desired chart type from the drop down menu. Okay, so you have various designs of that chart type then you choose the preferred design. So that ends the processes for inserting a chart. But if you do not like, or if you don't know which type of chart to choose, then you should click the recommended charts. And that one will give you a recommendation of which type may be suitable for the data that you have selected. Let us look at this practically. Alright, so the first step is for you to select the data you are going to use for plotting or creating the chart. So let's say here I want to compare the performance of the students, okay, per their subjects. So I've selected this data. Then after selecting the data, the next step is to click the Insert tab. And then after clicking the Insert tab, you come to this chart group. And you have the various charts available here, okay? So the one that you prefer, you click this button. Once you click its button, you notice that a drop down of the gallery of available designs for that chart type are displayed for you. And you notice as I place the pointer on each live preview of how your chart would look like should you select that displays. Okay, so you should decide and then click the design that you want. So preferably, normally we choose for column graphs, we choose the 3D or the one up here. So I'll pick this one. And once I click it, our chart is inserted. So over here, this entire area is the chart area. You have your chart title, you have the legend here, you have the data series indicating what do you call it, each data, how the data series plots the data for each of the, should I say, marks scored by each student. Okay, and then you notice that we have each subject represented by a particular color, or should I say each student score for each subject. So you see that someone is marked by blue on the legend, which means these are the scores for someone. Okay, alright. We don't have the X and Y axis titles. Okay, but you can see the plots, the grid lines, and then this is the plot area where you have your graph plotted. That is the plot area. Okay, so we have inserted a chart, but we may desire that we change the chart's layout. The layout simply refers to how the contents of the chart are arranged within the chart area. Now, to change the chart layout, you should do the following. 1. Click the chart that you want to format. And once you click the chart, then the chart design tab, and then the chart format tab, and then the layout tabs will display. The next step is for you to click the design tab, and then after clicking the design tab, you click the quick layouts button in the chart layouts group. Once you do that, a drop down of the available layouts will display. Then the final step is for you to click the preferred layout on the drop down gallery that displays. Let us have a demonstration of this. So let's say we want to change the layout of this chart. So I'll select the chart, and then I'm already on design, but if let's say it was not on design, it was on home, okay, then you click the design tab, and then from here you click the quick layout button, and then you have various layouts over here. So you notice that when you put the pointer on a particular layout, a live preview of how your chart would look like is displayed. Okay. Alright. Usually I prefer this one, but whichever one that you want, you can choose it. So I will choose this. I'm clicking this layout. Okay. Once you click the layout, you have your layout changed. So you see that each the actual scores are displayed beneath the data series that we have here. Alright, so that is how we change the layout. Let us look at how we can change the legend's position. That is where we find a legend within the chart area. To move the legend to the right side of the chart, execute the following steps. Or to any position that you prefer, you should do the following. 1. You select the chart. Then 2. Click the plus button on the right side of the chart. 3. Click the arrow next to the legend and then click right. That is if you want to send it to the right. Let us demonstrate this. For the layout that we choose, the legend is displayed as part of the rows. But let me choose a different chart type like this one. Okay, so let's say I want to change where we have our chart presently, which is at the bottom here. So what we are asked to do is to, once you've clicked on the chart, we click this, okay, and then you put the pointer on legend, and you click it, you click legend, and then you choose where you want to put it. You want it at the top, right, left, or bottom. So let's say I want it at the right side, so I'll click it. So there we have our chart legend now. Okay, so that is how we change the position of the legend. The next thing we will learn about charts is how to apply chart styles. We know what styles are, but if you have to refresh your memory, we said the style is a combination of formats that can be applied all at a go or at once together. Now, to choose a particular chart style, you should do the following. 1. Click the chart you want to format. 2. Click the Design tab. 3. Click the More button on the Chart Styles gallery. And then 4. Click the Preferred Chart Style. Let us have a demonstration of this. 1. You select your your chart. Then if the active tab is not Design tab, you click it. You click the Design tab. Then you click this More button here. So now you have the various styles for the chart. So you click the one that you want. Okay? So I'll click this. Once I click it, I have applied or chosen a particular style for my chart. For the chart title, you can delete what is there and type the title that you prefer in the way that you click anywhere to complete. Okay. Okay. So there we have it. But of course, you have the option of choosing a particular group of colors by clicking here change color. Change colors. Then you choose the kind of colors that you want to use. Okay. Alright, so that ends it on how we create charts. Now we can apply various stuff to the chart. I'm expecting that you would explore these other elements that you find here more, but for want of time, we limit ourselves to what we have learned so far. Now, let us learn how we can print worksheets. The steps for printing a worksheet are given to us as follows. 1. On the File tab, click Print. 2. To preview the other pages that will be printed, click Next Page or Previous Page at the bottom of the window. 3. Enter the number of copies to be printed in the Copies box. Then 4. To print the worksheet, click the Big Print button. So here we are looking at how we can print the entire worksheet, okay, with all its contents. So to print, we are told to go to the File tab, and then after coming to the File tab, we click Print. And when we click Print, we have a live preview of how our work would look like when it is printed. Now to see the next page, you click this next, then you click next, then you click next. So that is how your pages will look like when you print them. If you want to go to the previous, you click the previous button as I just did. Then you have to delete this and type the number of copies that you want over here. So let's say I want to print 3 copies. I'll type 3 in there. Okay. Then I can click print, but if you have more than one printer, then you have to click this one here and then choose the printer that you want to use in the printers available options here. You click it. Okay. And then once you are done, you click the print button as you can see here. Once you click the print button and your printer is connected, your entire worksheet will be printed for you. Let us look at how you can print a selection. Okay, let's say you selected just a particular portion or range of cells and want to print that range alone, or an object within your chart that you want to print alone. What you do is step 1, you select the range of cells to be printed. 2, navigate to the print pane, that is, you go to the file tab, then you click the print. Okay, from there then step 3, select printer selection from the select print selection from the print range drop down menu. Then once you do that, a preview of your selection will appear in the preview pane. 4, enter the number of copies to be printed in the copies box. Then 5, click the print button to print the selection. A demonstration. So I want to print these, so I'll select them. And then after selecting what I want to print, I'll click File and then click Print. Okay. Then I will come here to the settings area and then click this. Okay. Then when I click this, I'll come down to choose print selection. Once I select that, what I selected appears as the live preview. Then I'll come here and type the number of copies I want printed, and then I'll click the print button. If let's say you don't like the portrait arrangement but you want a landscape arrangement, you can come and click this one here before you print. You click the orientation and then you choose landscape. Once you choose that, the paper order will be changed to, or orientation will be changed to the landscape orientation, and then you can click the print button to print. The last thing we are learning in this session is to look at how we can print a chart. To print a chart, you should do the following. 1. Select the chart to be printed. navigate to the print pane, then 3. Enter the number of copies to be printed in the copies box, and then 4. Click the print button to print the selection. Demonstration. So I want to print this chart, so I'll select the chart as the first step, and then click the File tab, come and click Print, and then once I selected a chart, you see that the print selected chart option is selected here. Okay, then you type the number of copies you want, and then if you are not okay with the orientation, you change it to, let's say, this, and then you click the print button. It will be printed for you. This is actually the last thing we will learn under this, but I want to add something small. Let's look at how we can copy a chart that we have created in Excel into Microsoft Word. It's simple. You just right click the chart and then you click copy, and then you go to the Microsoft Word file. You right click wherever you want to position that chart, and then you click paste, and then you have inserted your chart. Okay. Sometimes your printer may be black and white. Okay, your printer may be black and white. Let me change this to the default. Okay, your printer may be black and white and cannot print the colors. So you can choose, instead of using these colored data series, you can instead use patterns of black and white. Okay, so what you do is you select your chart, or you select a particular data series. Once you click any of them, those having the same the same colors will also be selected. Then you come to click the fill, okay, at this end, and then you choose pattern fill. Okay, then you can scroll down, change the color to black and white as I am doing. Then you have the various pattern designs. So for instance, for this one I'll choose this. Come to the next one, come to pattern, and for this one I'll choose this one. Then this one too, I'll select, choose pattern, and I'll choose this. Okay, and then this one I'll select, come to pattern, and I'll choose this one for it. This one is too close to the other. Okay, so I think now when you print it, I think you see the difference between them. You notice that the legend also changes to the patterns that you selected. Okay. Alright. So let us end our lesson on charts and how to print the content, and we draw a close to Excel. The next topic will be, the next block will be on PowerPoint. Have a great day.